Bit by bit, audio recordings are being made public. Testimony that the grand jury heard in the Breonna Taylor case.
The police involved and Taylor's boyfriend both telling investigators very different stories about how the shooting happened in a botched police raid that ultimately killed Taylor in her own Louisville apartment. Whether or not officers announced themselves has been a key issue in the Breonna Taylor case. One Louisville police lieutenant says officers with a narcotics warrant approached Taylor's apartment door and announced themselves as police and knocked 3 times. Another officer says they waited as much as 2 minutes. In one audio clip, the jury heard police interview Louisville detective Brett Hankinson, the lone officer indicted in connection with the botched police raid that ended with Taylor's death. Hankinson says he began returning fire through Taylor's window when he saw flashes from a gun come from inside Taylor's apartment, saying his fellow officers were positioned, quote, like sitting ducks.
I knew the threat was straight on from this door and straight across from this window. That's the last place I saw the guy shooting with the gun. And that's where I felt at that time to protect myself, to protect my partners that had already been shot. I returned fire through the window, and as soon as I returned fire through that window, the threat stopped.
The grand jury indicted Hankinson on 3 counts of wanton endangerment for firing into a home adjacent to Taylor's. Hankinson has pleaded not guilty. In another audio clip played for the jury, Taylor's boyfriend told police the two of them had just fallen asleep when they heard banging on the door March 13th. He says no one answered when they asked who was there, and then he says the door suddenly came off the hinges and he fired a shot.
Like when the door comes off the hinges, it's happening fast, like it was like an explosion. Sure. You know, so boom, one shot. Then all of a sudden there's a whole lot of shots. We both dropped to the ground. But I just heard her screaming. You know.
Did you shoot towards the door or just like up in the air or
like towards the ground, really just like warning shots. So if it was somebody that run off or something, you know what I'm saying? Just like somebody's at this point, somebody's breaking in the home. Like we don't.
Did you see anything when the door come off the hinges? Did you see anything at that
point? No, I couldn't see anybody. It was dark. There was no lights out there. So all we hearing is these loud booms. We're saying who is it? Nobody's saying who it is, and then the door gets kicked in.
A court ruled that the audio recordings should be released after the grand jury did not charge any officers with Taylor's killing, angering many in Louisville and nationwide.